Chubstep.
Creating the oil of
Steed. Chub. Step.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle.
Don't you remember? We listened to his whole album that one night I told you you'd never be a good writer because you don't have a curious mind? Time. Ah, damn it.
Who was it?
Paul Buffano! Paul Buffano! How hard is that? Paul Buffano! Come on!
Sorry, jump scare.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
And the show started.
Welcome back, babies. Go check us out. I'm plugging it early. Go check us out on TikTok.
TikTok, it's starting up. Main State, it's early days of TikTok. If you want to get on the ground floor, now, Steed, you get a free subscription to our TikTok with the entry into Church of Four Pillars, right?
You do. I'll send a link to our TikTok when you send me $4.
Okay, so it's Paul-T-1 on Venmo. You enter the Church of Four Pillars, which is Steed's cult, the Doomsday Simulation cult, and then you also can get
Simulation Doomsday cult.
Simulation Doomsday cult, and you can also
get a link to our private OnlyFans.
Yeah, well, it's a TikTok, really.
It's a TikTok, but yeah. So I made our first TikTok. It took me 6 months of just delaying. Just basically me not doing it, and then when I actually made it, I got a lot of respect for TikTokers, because it took me a solid hour to figure out. I had to string in. Okay, our cameraman was not the best.
Who was the cameraman again?
Brian.
Oh yeah,
and he kept saying Wayne's World before we started shooting every thing.
Brent Flakes. He's been on the show before.
He kept saying Wayne's World. And that was our sign to go. So I'd have to edit out the Wayne's World. And then I'd have to edit out us like giggling at the end.
Yeah, it's a very good video. And it's definitely not just trying to be clickbait.
No, it's huge. Well, I should have done hashtags now that I think about it.
You didn't do any hashtags? Can you edit
I didn't do any. I was too frazzled.
Also, you gotta go back and I think you can probably go back just quick edit to add hashtags. So
I also don't know what's going on because it was like on my computer, then it wasn't coming up on my phone.
If anybody knows how to actually do TikTok, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, if we also it made me like want to shoot myself in the face because my TikTok, I haven't been on it in so long, so it like the algorithm that it had me in, which was like just chicks in bikinis mostly.
Yeah, and
that all went away.
It went away. Oh, what did it go
so
to?
now it was just like the worst people on earth, like just opening a drawer and they're like, today I'm going to open my drawer. Let's see what's inside. And then they open their drawer and, it's a spoon or some shit.
And they were fully clothed.
Yeah, they're fully clothed. And then it has like 300,000 views. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It pisses
maybe we need
off.
a segment where Chubstep Amy explains TikTok to us because I don't.
It drives me crazy. It drives me nuts. Vine was okay.
I was huge on Vine. People forgot about that. I had a series of Obama.
You did have a series of Obama-based Vines. Yeah,
they were huge.
I made on my personal TikTok. I got one TikTok. It's really good. It's a Good Soup. If you guys remember the Good Soup TikToks. I did a Good Soup TikTok and I'm drinking a margarita.
It also fits in with Steed Swallows, which also your hit Instagram page.
Coming back.
It's coming back.
I got a lot of shit going on. I also made a pact with Chubstep Taylor where we're getting yoked together.
Oh, good. So if anybody saw the Steed show or watched that episode, which is now on YouTube, or listen to it on Instagram, you can, or on wherever you listen to your podcast. Chubstep Taylor was on there, and they're not jacked now, but they're going to get jacked as well.
Yeah. So here's the thing: Taylor's problem is he's too skinny, right?
Okay.
And my problem is at this point in my life, I'm too chonk. I got a little bit of chonk going on.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do my workout plan just straight bulk. I just pump iron.
Okay.
Get swole.
Yeah.
Eat protein. Taylor just runs. So I'm like, what if we mix these two crazy ideas
Yes.
and you add weightlifting and protein, and I add cardio and not eating like 2 pounds of pasta a day?
Wow.
What if we linked them and then
Yeah.
we're both going to look like Brad Pitt
Superhuman.
from Fight Club?
Okay. Yeah,
That's
that's
our
the kind of
goal.
look you're going for. I think that's kind of the yeah, you don't want to be too jacked, right? You don't
We're
need to
not
look
going to
like
get too jacked. We don't have the time or dedication for that.
yeah, you don't need to look like Arnold and when he was Mr. Universe.
We don't have the money for steroids.
That's a good point.
It's
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gotta get jacked, and then maybe after I get jacked, I'll start another Instagram account for fitness, and then I'll move
Steve
Steve
Swallows could
Swallows into a subsidiary of that.
okay, because you could eat like healthy food.
I'm not eating healthy food ever.
Okay, good. Thank God. Steve, speaking of food, Bing Bong.
Bing bong.
Bing
I was
bong.
at Whole Foods because it was close to where, not typically where I shop for groceries, but it was weird. I was running a few errand type things, and I had to pick up stuff to make chili cheese fries. So I go to Whole Foods, and I'm in there, and I am checking out, and I have a red onion. Needed the ingredient, right? That's pretty normal. It's like a
Yeah, it's a
salsa.
typical onion.
Yeah,
It's
typical
one of the
onion.
big four.
Yeah, it's a big, pretty things you would probably see a lot. Like in a, somebody that was a cashier would probably see a red onion a lot, right? You would assume that.
They're very distinguishable from
Yes.
other onions.
So I'm checking out, and I noticed some kind of like whitish markings on the red onion. So I said to the cashier, I said, "Oh, wait, that might be mold on the red onion. Maybe I need to return that." And she looks at it, spins around, she says, "I don't know vegetables." That was a verbatim quote from a cashier at Whole Foods. "I don't know vegetables." And I was a little shocked at that thing. And now I said, okay, she handed it to me. I looked at it, I said, "No, this is just the outer layer, some markings on it. We're fine."
Oh man, that's funny.
If
I
I'm
don't-
if I'm at Best Buy and I'm shopping and I'm seeing some guy on his lunch break and an onion happens to come up, then I could see him maybe saying, "I don't know vegetables." It's a crazy thing to say, but especially somebody working at a Whole Foods.
I honestly thought of that from just a general human standpoint.
Yeah.
I did not even think of it as a Whole Foods employee standpoint.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
that is crazy.
A girl who has to see hundreds of vegetables in a day.
I would say hundreds to thousands.
2000s potentially. Yeah, I think I probably had like 15 vegetables that passed through her cashier just in that one couple like minute that I was there.
Oh man,
Yeah, you're
her
right. It could be
training must
thousands
have
a
been
day.
brutal. Because you gotta like do the weight, you gotta do the quick lookup
Yes.
for the things without the tag. And she's like gets an eggplant and she's like, I gotta
What
call
is
the
this?
manager. They're calling the
Maybe
manager
she
over.
maybe I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe she like specializes in fruits, right?
She
can
could be
tell
more
you
of a fruit.
she could
Yeah.
tell you every type of banana, right?
Yeah, hey, she's like somebody tries ringing up a banana as a
Yeah.
plantain and she's like, whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I know you switched that label because they're
Same
on sale.
family, different price,
Yep.
right? You want kumquats? We got kumquats. She'll go to that,
We got them. Is kumquat a banana family?
No, I'm just saying, like, if
I
she's
don't know
going
what a
through different
kumquat
fruits.
is.
I've got a kumquat in the fridge right now.
You got to stop doing this stuff.
It's the size of a grape, but it looks like an orange.
What's it
And-
taste like though?
It's like a super tart. I like it a lot. It's like a tart orange, but sweeter. It's like sweet and tart.
Ooh,
It's
so
very
like a
citrusy, very
grapefruit?
citrusy. But not the same flavor as grapefruit. It's closer to
Kinda
like an orange
sour.
type flavor.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
know.
kind of sour. Anyway, I like them.
I'll-
You can't.
I'll never-
But anyways,
yeah.
this girl would know it because she's an expert on fruits. Apparently,
She's a
Doesn't
fruit gal.
know. She doesn't know vegetables.
It's not her department.
Not her. The cashier, you think he'd be more well-rounded, but maybe she was just subbing in for somebody that day. Who
Very
knows?
true. All right,
Just
Jay, here's
ridiculous
what?
statement.
okay. You want to do a double bing bong?
Bing bong.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
All right, double bing bong. This was going to be, a secondary segment, but I'm going to squeeze this in. I got foods that people don't like that make them a bitch for not liking.
Okay, yeah.
Shut up, bitch!
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I do like to
So
judge people on what they don't like to eat, so I like this
exactly,
segment.
because there's some foods out there where people are just like, oh, I hate those. I'd never eat those. And I'm
Yeah.
like, go fuck yourself. Like, you just shut up. Eat
This
them.
is-
They're good.
I
Shut
always
up,
said if I
bitch!
had a restaurant, and this is why I don't have a restaurant, but like there would be no substitutions.
Oh,
Like
none at all.
you would get like this is what comes on the sandwich, and you could like I'm not taking it off. You can take it
That's
off if
it.
you want, but that's it.
It took expert chefs years to create this dish, and you're
Yeah.
not going to tell me you don't want uh let's say cream in
Yeah.
the risotto.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually stayed at the only time I've ever been to somewhere kind of like that. We went to this steakhouse with my family when we were in Italy at Lake Como, and they would not serve it well done. They would not serve a steak well done.
That's wonderful.
They said
Nobody
nope.
should ever
And
serve
they
it
had
well done.
the only vegetable they had there was a potato. Like literally, the place literally only had steaks, and then
I
you could
gotta
get a
go.
side
I
of
gotta go to
potatoes.
this place.
It was awesome. It's just like that's it. You cannot come in there for vegetables. You know, like if you're, vegetarian or vegan, like you're eating a potato.
How do they get olive oil on there? Olive oil on the potato?
Yeah, olive oil is on the potato.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
No olive oil in an Italian dinner.
No,
You're
no.
doing something wrong.
Yeah. All right, continue.
All right. Okay. So my first food that you're a bitch if you don't like is lamb.
Ooh.
Lamb is delicious.
Yeah.
It's not too gamey. It's, don't feel bad that sheep was gonna die anyway.
Yeah.
Lamb is delicious. It's one of the finest meats out there.
Yeah.
And you're a bitch if you don't like it.
And also, if you don't like, there's different cuts of lamb, right? Like a lamb shank is not gamey at all. Like there's zero like gamey flavor to it.
Yeah.
But like sometimes a ground lamb can be a little bit more than that, but it's not I don't know, it's not too much to
No.
your points, dude.
Yeah, my signature dish is the rack of lamb.
Rack of lamb, fancy.
It's wonderful. People cry when they eat it.
Yeah.
I have 4 jars of Dijon mustard in my fridge just because I never finish a whole one, then I buy a new one when I make it. And there's
You
just
forget that you
4
had the old one.
Yeah, so there's just 4 jars of Dijon mustard in my fridge from making the
Good.
honey Dijon sauce that goes with it.
There you go.
Excuse me. Okay, food number 2 is mushrooms.
Yeah. Well, the only person I know that doesn't like lamb is my grandma, and she doesn't like lamb because when she was pregnant, she thinks she got like she threw up while she was eating lamb, and then she never wanted to eat it again.
Yeah,
So
it couldn't have been the baby.
No, exactly. So and by the way, grandma, you were pregnant 55 years ago, so get over it.
Get over it.
Okay. Sorry.
Maybe I'll cook your grandma my lamb.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, mushrooms. It's a fungi.
Mm-hmm. Fungi.
It's more closely related to us than
Dinosaurs.
plants are related to it.
Terrorists.
No.
Okay.
Mushrooms are more closely related to us than plants are related to mushrooms.
Oh, crazy.
Yes. So suck on that, vegans.
Well, don't vegans like mushrooms?
I don't know.
Okay. I think they probably do. I love mushrooms.
I think they're an amazing flavor.
Yeah.
Yeah, how they grow is a little weird, sure. I mean, they just grow out of anything.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like in my shower, there's like 4 mushrooms growing out of the drain. And
Yeah, exactly.
I
At
might
any one
harvest them. I don't know.
And if anybody's seen that I think it's Fabulous Fungi, the documentary just talks about how crazy mushrooms are. They like talk to each other under the ground.
Oh yeah, they're wild.
The Last of Us, if people seen The Last of Us, it's basically mushroom people.
Mushroom human, yeah.
Mushroom human zombies that walk around.
I haven't seen it, so don't spoil it.
Okay, well that's the concept. So I agree, Steve. Mushrooms I think are incredible, and especially the different types. If you're, in the Chicago area,
so much variety.
you basically get like 2 types of mushrooms ever if you live in Chicago area, but like every once in a while you get a cool one that is fun.
Yeah.
Maitake, that's a fun one. That's fun to say.
I had baby Bellas today,
Baby Bellas, yeah, that's a
which I mean
classic.
they're like kind of the white person mushroom. You know, they're not
Yeah.
threatening. They look pretty normal,
Yeah,
and they say baby Bella in the name.
yeah,
Like
baby. It sounds cute.
that's a
I
white guy
now
mushroom. But
I know. So the one person I know who doesn't like mushrooms is Nick Russo, who will be on the show in a couple of weeks here to talk about the Oscars. So, Nick, if you're listening to this, I would like to hear your rebuttal for the anti-mushroom discussion when you're on the show in a few weeks.
yeah, I mean we could just cook him up some mushrooms or something.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe he hasn't had a good one.
Because they don't open their mind. People are like, I don't like this, and then they just don't eat
That's
it
it.
for the next 25 years or 55, like your grandma.
Yeah, like your grandma. Grandma, get over
Open,
it.
yeah, open your mind. All right, next one. Fish. Some
Yep.
people don't eat fish. It
Yep.
makes you a bitch.
Yep.
All right, eat the fish. It's
Yep.
delicious.
Yep.
Eat the sushi specifically
Yep.
raw.
Yeah. Fish is a weird thing because I think what happens with fish is that people grow up and they have like a bad fish experience, and then like to your point, get over it just in general. But like fish, when fish is like the one food, if it's done bad, it's done really bad. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna be
Oh, I've
really-
had bad fish.
Yes, yes.
I had catfish from this. What was it? I don't know. It was like some Caribbean restaurant. It was
Yeah.
like jerk catfish, and I'm like, yeah, I'll get the jerk catfish. And it just like wasn't cooked, and it was full of bones, and it tasted
Oh
like the
my
Fox
God.
River. And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I was so pissed.
Like I want to throw this up on you for serving this to me. Yeah.
But then the next day, I probably went and bought some salmon.
Yeah. For sure, I would say of any of these options, the biggest difference between prepared correctly and not prepared correctly, the end result, obviously huge difference here with fish.
Fish. Okay, only two more. Second to last one is mussels.
Mm-hmm.
Mussels. Mussels to me are the crown jewel of the shell sucking things.
Yeah.
Clams, I get it. Those are too big. There's too much going on.
We did a steed science on clams. Steed, you did a steed science on clams. People can listen to that.
Yep. I don't remember what we went over, but you can listen to it. Oysters.
I'll look it up for people.
I get it, but mussels, you boil them or you steam them normally.
It's episode 318 in Chubstep, episode 318. You did a steed science on clams.
Go check it out.
Yeah.
Not on mussels though. Mussels
No.
and I feel like it's an Italian pasta thing.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why I like have such an affinity with them because they have like flavors in them. I feel like they have a lot more flavors when you eat them.
I didn't actually consistently start having mussels until like 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah,
I just
they're
never.
good.
They're always they're good. And if somebody and also they always seem fancy, right?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You never see a homeless guy order mussels.
Yeah, damn
at
right
a
you
restaurant.
don't.
But you would see a fancy guy order mussels. And I will tell you, for those that have not cooked mussels, one of the easiest things to cook. And it takes if you prep it right, you just have to debeard them, which is basically just you scrub them. You have to basically find out which ones are alive or dead, which you can watch a 5-minute YouTube video on how to prep mussels. You basically scrub them, you check if they have a broken shell, you check if they're closed or if they're open, and you take a little beard off them. And then they cook in 4 minutes. And the ones that don't open, those are dead. You throw them away, and nobody gets sick.
Easy enough.
Mussels are literally the easiest thing to cook and taste really good. And to your point, Steed, fancy, and yes, you should like mussels.
Yes, you should. So if you don't, you are a bitch. And the last one here is Brussels sprouts.
Okay. Yeah.
There's a lot of Brussels sprouts haters out there. I don't know if this is another you had one bad experience and you hate them, or maybe you were a child and your mom was like, eat this Brussels sprout, and she gave it to you raw, but she had just read a book and it was you gotta feed your kids vegetables.
Yeah.
And
yes.
she's drunk because she's got you to deal with. So she gets drunk and she's like, eat this fucking Brussels sprout. And she's shoving it in your mouth and shit. And it's this whole thing. That's what I imagine.
That's childhood trauma, and you're reflecting that on Brussels sprouts. It's not their fault.
It's not. If you get some olive oil, like everything else in life, if you put olive oil on it, it will be good.
Yeah.
Put some olive oil in a pan, do some Brussels sprouts in there, slowly cook them down. Eat them.
Eat them
Pancetta
all. Eat them
or
all.
bacon.
Yeah.
Um, garlic.
Yeah.
Done.
You can do them Italian. You can do them Asian.
Hmm.
Gochujang, Steve.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of Parmesan. There's all the options
Oh,
are available for, to your point, a Brussels sprout. A very good, and they look funny when they're on the vine of Brussels sprouts. That's a funny looking thing.
it is. It's a pretty comical little vegetable.
Yeah, it's a comical vegetable. Now people might not like the smell of them when you're cooking them. They can smell bad.
That's true. But
Get over it.
they don't taste like they smell.
They don't tell you they smell. Get over it. To your
Yeah.
point.
If you don't like those, you are indeed a bitch. I also put in parentheses after this in my notes, any other vegetable as a
I like
just
that
like
caveat.
if you're like, oh, I don't like broccoli. Well, it turns out you're kind of a bitch
Yeah.
because broccoli is delicious, or like spinach. Spinach is delicious. Just
Yeah.
put some freaking salt on it, and it's delicious. Get
I'm on the
over
same
it.
page. Spinach is phenomenal. There was one time,
Wonderful.
there was the weirdest thing that maybe ever happened. We do these bro grills where we cook and stuff like that. And one time we went to the grocery store with a bunch of us and we bought a thing of spinach. And I don't know who started doing it, Chubstep Jeff or one of these guys, but for some reason we had eaten a whole bag of raw spinach by the time in the 5 minutes between driving back from the grocery store to my parents' house. People were just eating handfuls of raw spinach. Just the weirdest thing.
All
Oh,
of your
man.
guys' organs were just like so deprived of nutrients.
Yes.
They got the spinach and your body just like went on autopilot and you started eating the spinach.
So, yeah, I like it, Steve. I like it.
Yep. So that's it. If you don't like any of those foods, I encourage you. I'll cook them for you. If you want to come over, we'll talk about the Church of Four Pillars. I'll cook you any of those foods that you don't like.
Shut up, bitch!
And you can meet
Perfect.
my fish, Stefan.
There we go.
Chorizo tacos.
Are you saying chorizo tacos?
Don't play around because I'm super hungry.
I went to a DePaul Blue Demons game this past week. They're playing my my school Marquette, and I go to this game because it's close to me. I can see DePaul play. DePaul is playing the Big East, which is one of the top 5 conferences in basketball. DePaul's in the middle of Chicago, and DePaul has seemingly the most depressed fan base I've ever seen, and maybe the worst sports fan base I've seen in college basketball, and it makes no sense.
Oh, no.
This like Chicago is one of the bigger, I would say one of the top 3. If I think of basketball cities, I think of New York and Chicago.
I think of New York, LA, Brooklyn.
Well, that's New York, yeah.
San Francisco, the Nets.
Okay.
Then I think of the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
Then I think of the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay.
Then in the 80s, I think about the Bulls.
Sure. That was the 90s, but yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
so here's what, so DePaul, you would think is one of the main school, in Chicago, there's not many schools and colleges in Chicago.
No, there's not.
No. And you would kind of think that they would, I don't know, you think they'd be able to get some big names or something like this into DePaul. They have just been terrible since basically since 1992. So they had a big run they had this coach that was around for 40 something years. They got to the Final Four twice in the 40s and the 70s or something. Final Four, yeah, 1943 and 1979. They were in the Final Four. The same coach. Anyway, since they've not made the NCAA tournament, the March Madness tournament, since 2004. They've made it once in 2000, once in 2004. That was the last time. And then it was 92 before that. And they made it a bunch of years in the late 70s, early 90s. But the point is that the school has just kind of sucked for a long time. and there's always the laughing stock of everything. I'm laughing at them now. They're terrible.
I do laugh at them.
I go to
once or
this. I go
twice
to
a
this
year.
game, and it was like 85% Marquette fans at a DePaul home game.
Nice.
It was embarrassing, and that might even be. It might have been 90%. It was ridiculous. And what I realized here, Steve, a big problem is their branding. So they're the DePaul Blue Demons.
Yeah.
And there was nothing satanic about this game at all.
Uh-huh.
Their logo is kind of cool. I kind of like this logo. I'll show you this logo. Here it is.
Okay, so it's like actually pretty demonic.
Kind of demonic, yeah. It's this kind of blue devil with these red eyes, blue and black devil, red eyes. It's a cool logo.
Oh, he's scary. Half of his
scary.
face is all black, like he's shaded.
Yes.
So he's like spooky.
Yeah.
And yeah, they really should lean into that and maybe put some blood on it.
They just need like there was nothing specific to a blue demon. There's no blue demon type chant or like
demons.
Like there was nothing like
demons.
I was saying with Chubstep with V-Dog, who's been on the show once. We were thinking like, what if every time they scored a basket, they did like the devil like laugh?
What's
or something
the devil laugh?
like the huh huh huh. Like that.
What?
I don't know what the devil laughs. I'll play it for the sound clip for people listening.
Is that what the devil sounds like, Jared? Does he talk to you?
I mean, it's not Santa, but okay. The point is that like I wanted like more like every once in a while the lights like flash off dark and then like the flame shoots up or something. There's a lot of stuff you do with demonic things, right? Like the announcer. How about the announcer with the devil voice while he's doing
I want him to play "Devil Went Down to Georgia" every time they score.
Pretend the whole song.
Devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah. So there's a lot of
they played a whole fiddle solo after every basket.
Yeah, I'm just saying you could do a lot more with the Blue Demon is a cool thing. The fact that the school approved this is cool.
Especially when they play like Catholic schools, they got to lean into it.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So I guess the point is just I was disappointed with this. I need them to lean into it. I'd like to see some options. Their video at the beginning, they played nothing to do with like a demon type of thing.
There wasn't like a satanic orgy going on in their video.
Nothing like that. I want like all the students to wear like Pentecosts, around their neck. Like every the first 5,000 fans get a pentagram. Sorry, pentagram.
I think Pentecost is like Christian. That's like Christian.
Pentecost? Let me look what that is. Oh yeah,
Pentecost. It's like Pentecostal. I don't think you.
What is the word I'm saying?
Jared, whose side are you on? The devil's side or JC's side?
Pentecost is a Christian holiday. You're right. All right, so that'd be bad. See, this is something that Marquette would do when DePaul was going to play.
Exactly.
They would do the Pentecost. You're right. The pentagram, Steve, to your point.
Yeah, they wear the pentagrams. And they put them on their head like in Game of Thrones.
Yes. But first 5,000 fans get a pentagram,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I want. Like I want people to like be legitimately scared if they got cursed. If you're an opposite fan, right?
I would want the players on the court to be in fear.
I want everybody to be in fear that's not a fan of the Blue Demons.
Yeah, like if you don't believe Tim Tebow won't go within 5 miles of the stadium.
That's what you want. You want it to be either Blue Demon fans or no fans. They would rather have it 5% full than 95% full, but like 90% of them are the opposite team's fans. So that's where I'm going with this. I mean, this is just a first brainstorming. We could workshop this with DePaul if they want to contact me. If Dwayne Peavy, the athletic director, wants to contact me, there's a lot of options here. We could have stuff raining down from the sky. We could have I don't know. Purgatory
section. Oh, that would be the fan section.
Yeah.
Like the student section is the purgatory.
Is the yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, you got to change the mascot. Get a ripped guy, 6-pack abs.
Well, I mean, you only see the Demon's face here. They've got some other logos that I don't like as much.
The mascot.
The mascot.
He's gonna be a guy running around with a pitchfork.
Here's what he looks like, Steve. He's a little too. I'll show you a picture of him here.
I need him to be. He's got to be sexy.
He's not jacked enough. He kind of looks like a goat
that's
with
embarrassing.
horns.
That is not.
So we got to re-up
That's not
this.
scary at all. No, I don't want kids. I want kids to in the stands to be like, "Oh my god, I hope the mascot does not come to me."
I would like where the points where parents are afraid to bring their little kids in because they're going to cry when they see the mascot.
Yeah, and they know that's like part of the fun.
Yeah.
All the like the whole game, kids are just pissing their pants, like, he's coming. I see him. He's coming to me. And then there's just like, he's got the furry head still, the furry demon head, but it's a spookier demon head. But then he's just got a 6-pack.
Oh yeah, it's like
there's
the army mascot that we talked about.
Yeah, except it's not fuzzy. It's just a normal human.
Okay,
So he's wearing the pants, but the pants are like goat feet. And then he's got the demon head, which is like the furry head. And then his torso though is just like a ripped dude.
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see.
So I think, the point of, I think the whole point where I'm going to this is like you get the fans involved, and then you got people that want to play for, maybe they've got a twisted past, right? Some people have a twisted past, some basketball players, sure. They would want to go play for this team because they can relate. So you might be able to get some good players that way.
I think so.
Yeah.
And then they're back in the money.
And they're back, yeah, exactly. Then they're back to the 80s glory. Steve, we did ask people to send us Chubstep topics. They want us to talk about the economy. Do you have thoughts on the economy?
Oh man, I can get into the economy and the border and World War III going on. Yeah, here's what I'll tell the people of the world. The only reason World War III is going to happen is because of rich people. And it's just rich guys bickering about rich guy stuff. So if you get drafted, don't show up.
There you go. Even though you were in the army?
Yeah, I'll go. I'm telling you guys, don't show up. I'm going there for fun. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. See the boys again. Play the boys are back in town.
Here's what I have to say. Job quitting fell 12% last year. And that's bad news for the economy. Fewer resignations reflect less confidence in labor market. And been news of layoffs and expected slower growth. So people aren't quitting their jobs because they don't think they're going to find a better job.
12% compared to the year before that. I feel like the 3 years before last year were like the highest job quitting rates ever.
Yeah, you're right.
So like a 12% fall is really.
I was just reading a Wall Street Journal.
I think that's a fine discussion.
I think we covered it all.
Explain as you would a
So what
child.
you want to do is burn your money and burn the banks down and burn your house down.
It's the only way to make sure you're totally pure.
Yeah.
If you want to stay pure, I would agree with Steve.
You get pure, and then you get the insurance money. Okay.
Exactly. Do you have one more thing you would get to, or are you done?
I have it's a slight. Actually, it won't be slightly longer. Yeah, I'll get you in here.
Okay. We'll do one more thing and then we'll wrap it up here. I got one thing, but I'm gonna push it for next week.
We could do your thing. Now let's do my thing. Let's do my thing. Everybody buckle up. It's story time. It's story time. Jay, did you know Saudi Arabia is opening its first liquor store in 70 years?
Wow.
They're doing it.
I'm assuming that's not because the market was saturated and nobody thought they could bring in a new liquor store because it was already covered. I'm assuming that's not the reason.
That was not the reason. It was banned. Liquor was banned. It was only allowed by diplomats and like foreign people in like specific situations. But you gotta it's gotta be vetted.
What about in cool guys in suits?
That's basically who was drinking it.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I guess, yeah, if you're super rich, there was a black market, which was part of the reason that they decided to open this liquor store.
Well, yeah, like prohibition, basically.
Well, basically, diplomats going to Saudi Arabia were smuggling in like big quantities of booze and selling it for like 10 times the price.
Nice.
And like making a shit ton of money. But what I want to talk about is why it got banned in the first place.
Oh
yeah, the story goes deep.
I like this.
So a lot of people are just like, oh yeah, it's because Muslims don't drink alcohol. And
That would
you
have
know
been
what?
my assumption as well.
Fair enough. But let's go back to 1951. And I actually found an article from 1952. When I was looking this up, I saw like Saudi Arabia first opened liquor store, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then it showed me why, and there was it had a brief thing and a link to an article, and I clicked that link, and it was a link to an article from 1952 with like no explanation or anything, and they were spelling Muslim. They were spelling Muslims Muslim.
Okay, like at the
So,
time, that's how they spelled it.
I don't know if like the times changed, but they kept saying Muslim, and I was like, what is a Muslim? But
Interesting.
yeah, they were talking about Muslims. So basically what happened is in 1950, days before, people discovered oil in Saudi Arabia. And all these foreign companies came to Saudi Arabia to work the oil fields, because that's who owned them, was foreign companies. And they just brought like a shit ton of booze, because it had been like banned before that.
Okay.
And then everybody's just getting wasted, and everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, I had so much fun on this boat. I took it out last week with a couple of guys and a couple of girls. Everyone was wasted, hooking up left and right, okay?
No big thing. Everybody's loving it. The king at the time, he had a humble 35 sons.
Oh, good.
35 sons.
Not kids, 35 sons specifically.
35 sons.
Wow.
I don't know how many daughters.
Okay.
But that's a lot. That's a lot of sons.
Yeah.
So basically all these sons, I guess, were getting wasted. One of them gets in what does he do? He goes on a binge, gets in a brawl, and like it's this huge scandal. Another one like goes on a drinking binge with another sheik's son, and like the sheik's son died somehow, and that's a scandal.
Yeah.
And then the event that caused the alcohol ban was the one of his sons, probably not his favorite son. He's out drinking with his buddy, the British vice consul.
Nice.
Mr. Usman. The son gets wasted. And there's a couple different stories, but this is the one from 1951. So the son gets wasted, and he starts making passes at a house guest from England.
Ooh.
And the English consul throws the prince out. He's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You're drunk.
Yeah.
So then he goes away, and then he just gets like more drunk.
Of course.
And then he comes back in the morning, and he's still wasted because he just like kept drinking.
Yeah.
And he brought a shotgun.
Oh, of course.
And he's like, all right, so give me that girl. This is a 1951 article.
Yeah, yeah.
So he demands the girl for his private collection.
Oh, he has a collection of girls?
Eek. Yeah, so he like wants this girl for the collection. He like gets drunk. He's like, all right, well, you won't let me have her. I'm coming back with a shotgun.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, no, dude, still can't have it. And he's like, all right, well, I hope you like bullets. And the guy was like, what? And then the prince was like, what? And then the prince just started shooting him. So he shoots him. The consul's wife tried to like, shield him, which is very heroic and dumb.
Yes.
She gets blasted. She's okay though. The consul dies, and it's like this big scandal thing. The king is pissed. So consul dead.
Yeah.
Wife wounded. King pissed.
What happens to the girl? She gets added to the collection or no?
She's not in the collection.
Okay. Good.
Because the king is so pissed. She tells the wife of the dead consul.
Yeah.
So the son gets arrested, and the king goes, all right, you get to choose how my son dies any way you want.
Wow.
And she's just like, any way you want, that's how he dies. Because like
Yeah.
he was obviously just like super in the wrong. He promised to put his head on a stick, head on a pike out in front of the British embassy. And unfortunately, the widow, she politely declined.
She did not want to decide how the guy died.
Yeah, she was like, that's a little much for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe the girl should have just went in the collection.
Yeah.
So she did decline, and she was awarded, but I got a drum roll, $70,000 in damages.
At the time, that's a good amount of money. Yeah.
How much do you think that is at the time? Because I calculated this before the show.
If I had to guess, I am going to say that is close to $350,000.
Wow. So you think a dead British consul being murdered is worth $300,000?
I know. I just think that's the conversion.
It's $875,000.
Okay.
Which I thought was a little low, but the buying power back then.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like you could get a nice cottage on Cape Cod.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So she accepts the money and she bounces out of Saudi Arabia. The king is like, all right, I'm not going to kill you, my boy, even though I got 34 other sons that aren't fucking up. And he sentences him to jail with 20 lashes a month, which is, that's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah. No kidding.
And he keeps him in jail until the next king like comes into power.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was pretty mad at this little trouble.
No kidding. Yeah, this is not, again, like you're saying, not one of his favorite sons.
Yeah. So then I guess, a couple months go by and the king, instead of blaming his son for this, he slowly started just blaming alcohol.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Because he's like, oh, well, my son got drunk and the Westerners brought
It's not his fault. It's
booze.
the alcohol's fault. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he bans it. He's like, it's done. We're done.
Yeah.
And this caused a big outrage because the oil companies that like sent their boys in there to like farm the oil, they were all just like, we're gonna leave.
Yeah.
All the oil workers were just like so pissed. This is a quote from a 1950 oil worker. He said, or this is an official, he said, damn it all. A tough Oklahoma oil driller just isn't going to be satisfied to work here for 6 days a week and then relax with a bottle of Coca-Cola. And the Saudi Arabian guy's like, I don't give a shit. It's banned. And then it got banned. And that's the fun little story of murder and Saudi Arabia.
And now they're like, we're over it.
Well, the new prince is like super progressive.
Okay.
So he's like modernizing it a lot and like
he just wants to party.
Yeah, I mean, a couple of years ago they did like murder a journalist and stuff, but
that's old news at this point, right?
It is really old. That was when Obama was in office, so
okay,
we're like way past that now.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah, I would definitely have guessed it was a religious thing. No idea about the king's son murdering an English.
Yeah, that was the catalyst for it being banned.
That's
officially banned.
And for that long too. For that long, like people definitely.
Well, yeah. So it is still banned. The store is only open to people that have like a permit, so it's only open to diplomats and stuff. But it's basically only being open to like cut down on people smuggling booze in.
Okay, so it's like almost the first start in them legalizing it potentially.
Well, not really, because like anybody else is like not allowed to drink it.
Oh,
you'll get you will still get lashings.
Okay, yeah, and not
if you're just like a normal citizen and you go to the booze store, they're like, it's gonna cost you.
Okay.
We whipped a prince in jail.
Okay.
What do you think we're gonna do to you, Whole Foods worker?
Lashings is a good teaser for next week's topic.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to talk about man camps. So
what?
Perfect. We'll get to that. We'll get to that all next week. Email the show, chubstep.podcast@gmail.com. And follow us on TikTok, Chubstep Podcast.
We're live, baby.
We're live. We're officially live.
Also,
YouTube,
if anyone has experience making TikToks, what do we give them? $10 a month?
Yeah, I'll send you $10 a month.
We'll give you $5 a post.
Yes,
but you're only allowed to post 3 times a month.
There you go. Exactly.
That's the deal.
There you go. So perfect. So people, email the show, and then share the episodes. If you know of any guests that'd like to be in the show, email us. That sort of thing. Chubsteppodcast@gmail.com. Chubstep.podcast. And then new episodes every Thursday. The show has ended. Be gone.
Now you know you got to go.
Peace. This is Yasin.